Okay, our first graduate quantitative development development, the theme of her dissertation paper, theoretical and methodological foundations of empirical analysis of written discourse in linguistic testing. And her scientific advisor is a PhD Associate Professor Bunyaza Timur Özbayraç.
Bana da telefon. Şunu sabunu bırakın saat yapıyor.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about theoretical and methodological foundations of the analysis of written discourse and linguistic testing. Let's start with writing discourse, which plays an important role in learning languages and actually assessment. It reflects a person's ability to recognize some ideas and with this to communicate effectively. And this discourse refers to language produced in the written form, like essays, reports, and actually articles and examinations. So, unlike spoken discourse, written discourse, which is with a more organized structure, and there are some characteristics of the written discourse is cohesion, coherence, formal structure, grammatical occurrence, and lexical logics. There are features which are analyzed during the linguistic testing. Linguistic testing is the process of assessing language knowledge of the knowledge and the language skills. It measures like abilities in reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary, and grammar. So the next thing I want to say is analysis, which is based on observation and real data rather than researches. And there are some researches which is collected written texts and analyze that systematically to identify the patterns of the learning languages, which is replicating in our lives. So the next one is analysis, which is with discourse and based as several linguistic theories, like discourse analysis, functions, programs, and cognitive linguistics. There are theories which helps to research, understand how we learn language, how we learn the foreign languages, and actually there are some functions in writing communication. There are some discourse analysis and theories. Discourse analysis studies the language which is with the individual's sentence. It examines how there are some ideas which is connected with simple words. It can be some vocabularies and actually theories which is essential for evaluating some of the coherence and organization in the writing systems. There are writing systems is really cultivating some sentence which is also related with the grammar. And there are functional linguistics. Functional linguistics, which use language as a tool for communication. According to these approaches, writes choose language for achieve the explicit communication goals. And actually, research which is analyze how effectively there are goals, which is closely related with their sentence. And methodology, which is refers to analyze and collect some analysis data, it can be used both for qualitative and quantitative methods. So then, researchers examine the text organization, argument, style, and actually communicative style. The next thing is about the corpus-based analysis. It's about electronic collections of the writing systems, writing structures, and then corpus linguistics, which is research to analyze text efficiently by recurring patterns and language features. So there are some linguistic testing, which is usually assessed according to the several criteria. It can be task achievements and lexical researches, grammatical range, and accuracy. So, so discourse analysis, which is focused on analysis and individual works. Um, in conclusion, I want to say it's closely related with the analysis of written discourse, and it combines like knowledge with specific researches to evaluate writing, language, and objectivity.
You finished? Will you please show us what is given in your presentation? Okay, questions. What do you understand by the word discourse? Please tell us. Question. What do you understand by discourse?
Discourse for me in our English language is one of the activating theme. It's discourse we use in like speaking, writing, and actually in our grammar and vocabulary.
Well, what is it? Discourse is a text just. Mara, it is derived from the French word discourse. The meaning of the word is text. Cohesion and coherence. What do you understand by this concept? Names. Cohesion and coherence.
You know what is an conclusion to parents? I think it's a question.
They are features of written discourse and that are used in linguistic testing. Any other questions?
So, what is the aim of your qualification paper? The aim. There are several points here.
I want to explain about giving information about the writing discourse.
For example, define written discourse, investigate, survey. What is it? Empirical research? Empirical.
It's like analysis which is based on observation. They rather than assumptions.
Thank you. Firza bunu sobie.
So everyone given by Kalabaya Martina, PhD Associate Professor. In conclusion, the bachelor's thesis, theoretical and methodological foundations of empirical analysis of written discourse in linguistic testing is relevant, logically organized, and practically useful. It shows the author's understanding of written discourse, language assessment, empirical analysis, and methodological principles of linguistic testing. This status meets academic requirements and may be recommended for defense. So our next collaborator تجدينا Barnum Sichlanona and theme of our dissertation paper, social linguistic and the legal cultural features of the concept love, muhabbat, in English and Karakalpak language picture. And the scientific advisor is PhD Associate Professor Zabulay Atem Zamazin.
Alfabeyi kurabilir.
Kaldım. Oturmak kötü kaldım.
Hangi de hocam?
Ben kaytarak kaptırı basalım.
Hepsi bu konuda kimisi basamayız.
Good afternoon, dear members of the examination committee. Today we would like to present our graduate qualification thesis entitled Social Linguistic and Linguo-Cultural Features of the Concept Love and Muhabbat in English and the Karakalpak languages. Our presentation consists of an introduction to chapters, conclusions, and references. The first chapter discusses the theoretical foundation of the concept love and muhabbat, while the second chapter presents its comparative analysis in English and the Karakalpak languages. Next, love is one of the most universal human emotions. Different cultures express love in different ways through language. Therefore, comparing love and muhabbat helps us understand cultural values, traditions, and the worldviews of English and Karakalpak speakers. So next, the object of research is concepts love and muhabbat. The aim is to compare these concepts and identify their similarities and differences. The scientific novelty of the study is the comparative analysis of love, of linguistic, culture, and the socio-linguistic features of both concepts. So in our research, we use comparative semantic, lingual, cultural, socio-linguistic, and described methods. These methods help us analyze the meaning, usage, and cultural characteristics of love and muhabbat. The study also examines the influence of modern communication on the language of love. So, in the first chapter, we studied the theoretical foundations of the research. Language is not only a means of communication, but also a reflection of culture. Through language, people express their traditions, beliefs, and values. Therefore, the concept love and muhabbat can be understood only within their cultural context. This section focuses on sociolinguistics and culturology. Sociolinguistic studies the relationship between language and society. Both fields are important for understanding love and muhabbat. In this section, we analyze lingua cultural features of love and muhabbat. Lingua culturology studies how culture is reflected in language. Our analysis shows that love is not only a personal feeling, but also a cultural phenomenon. The understanding of love depends on traditions, values, and national worldviews. In the practical part of our research, we first analyzed the concept love in English. The analysis showed that love is a universal emotion and one of the most important concepts in English language. Depending on context, it may express romantic feeling, family affection, friendship, or even interest in certain activities and objects. We analyzed the lexical-semantic field of love and identified its main lexical units and meanings. The concept includes various types of love, such as romantic love, parental love, friendship, patriotism, and self-love. This demonstrates the broad semantic range of the concept in English. The sociolinguistic analysis revealed that the expression of love depends on social factors, age, gender, and social environment influence how people talk about love. Modern technologies and the social media have also introduced new terms related to relationships and emotions. The concept muhabbat occupies a special place in Karakalpa culture. Unlike many modern interpretations of love, muhabbat often includes spiritual values, responsibility, loyalty, and respect. It is strongly connected with family and social traditions. Um, in Karakalpak, the concept muhabbat is represented through different lexical units. These words reflect various emotions, emotional and cultural aspect of love. The analysis showed that family and national values play a significant role in understanding love in Karakalpak society. We also analyzed metaphors and proverbs related to love. Metaphorical expressions help people describe emotions more widely. Proverbs demonstrate the wisdom and cultural values of society. Both English and the Karakalpak languages use figurative language to express the importance of love. The comparative analysis showed both similarities and differences between the two concepts. Both love and muhabbat express positive emotions and close relationships. However, love is often associated with individual feelings, while muhabbat is more closely connected with family values and spirituality. The results of the research can be used in language teaching, translation studies, and intercultural communication. Understanding cultural meanings helps people communicate more effectively and avoid misunderstandings. The main finding of the study is that love and muhabbat share common human values but reflect different cultural perspectives. The research also shows that modern communication continues the influence the language of love.
To sum up, our research showed that love and muhabbat are not only emotional concepts but also cultural phenomena. Their meanings reflect the traditions, values, and the worldview of each society. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Donna. I have one question. What is concept? Concept, what is the concept? And just now you mentioned again and again about the values, yeah? So we can say about the cultural values are associated with love. Do you understand? Yes. It's the first question. Concept.
To compare the concepts love and muhabbat and identify their similarities and differences.
Concept is a compare. Hmm? Okay, what can you say about the cultural values? Just now you mentioned about again and again values. For example, respect. What can you say about this? Respect.
So, okay, from which sources did you take the examples? English and Karakal examples. There are so many examples given.
So, in English examples, I love family. The word love expresses family affection.
No, sources. Literature. From which literature? Qaysi literaturalar, adabiyotlardan aldın?
Şuislardan aldım, qaysi adabiyatlardan aldım. Buna konsept, muhabbat hissini aldım, izletilgen adam var mı ki? Sen birinci izletip otursan da son muhabbatı.
Qaysi adabiyotlardan misallarda aldınız?
For example,
Berdaq'ın qaysi çağırmadı?
İngilizce'den kusur katarız, soruyorlar. Ajnas kılın,
Misal keltir.
Misal keltir.
Var mı adabiyotlardan misal?
Okuma jeti.
Birtalay adabiyotlarımız.
What can you say about the Shakespeare's work? Hmm? Shakespeare'de okudunuz mu? Şey, bir çıkarmasını okudunuz mu? Kayısı çıkarması bu sorudur. Hiç kayısını okudunuz mu? Çok hoş Ben hiç soramadım bu soruyu.
Lexical semantic features. You know, you're going to give an example and explain. Give me an example in English language, explain. Any language. Wow. Lexical semantic features. But before we go on, we explain.
example of Ajnas legal claim, benim stüdyolarında. Қатып жатқан дәрттерімді қозғаған, сен жыласаң менің ахуазаным бар. Жігерін маған жолдаған, бұл дүнияда менің сүйген ярым бар. This example shows that muhabbat can express both personal and social values.
Social values.
No.
Nergis?
So you can mention that on your speech that you analyze it based on different texts, parental, romantic, and so on. Yeah. So it would be better if you share here some differences, similarities based on social linguistic and the lingual cultural feature of concept, love, and okay, difference between these notions, social linguistic and the lingual cultural features. I'm reading this question according to your presentation. So,
Before the beginning your qualification, you may understand what does it mean concept or no. After that, we may analyze social linguistic as our colleagues mentioned about and the lingual cultural features.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Okay, the review was given by PhD Assistant Professor Azila Gulsanian Lagos State Pedagogical Institute, named after engineers. Shortly, on the whole, the thesis satisfies academic standards and demonstrates the students' capacity for independent research. It is recommended for defense. So our next graduator, Kadirbayeva Nargiza Shamral, and the theme of her dissertation paper is the linguistic features of the concept friendship in English and Karabakh languages. And her scientific advisor is Sabulay Ramzian Zamadilna, PhD Associate Professor.
Okay, good afternoon, respected members of the Nomination Committee. I'm pleasant to present the Baker's thesis and highlight the linguistic features of the concept friendship in English and Karabakh languages. Well, firstly, our graduation thesis included introductions, 2 main chapters, and the conclusion parts. So when it comes to the aim of the first chapter is discussing the theoretical foundation of conceptuology, and the second chapter focuses on the theoretical foundation of the English and the Karabakh languages. So the aim of the research is to investigate the linguistic features of the concept in English and the Karabakh languages and to identify its universal and culture-specific features. To achieve the main aim of this work, and there is a given some objectives. And firstly, the study provides a theoretical overview of the concept as a fundamental unit of the cognitive linguistics, and the survey its historical and cross-cultural backgrounds of the concept, and Furthermore, the research identifies and analyzes phraseological units and idioms expressing the friendship in English, as well as the proverbs and phraseological units representing the friendship in the Catalan languages. So the object of the research is the concept friendship as a cognitive, cultural, and linguistic phenomenon in both languages. The subject of the research is systematic linguistic meanings like the lexical, phraseological, and the phrenological. The methods research included the descriptive method, contextual analysis, lexical semantic analysis, and the element of cognitive metaphor analysis used. So the main part of our bachelor thesis, we start with the first chapter with the concept in modern cognitive linguistics. The cognitive linguistics studies how language reflects human thinking and experience. A concept is a mental unit that helps people organize knowledge about the world. So, according to Popova and Starnin, the concept contains not only knowledge but also about the emotions. And Rogers' prototypes theory explains that the concepts are organized around the typical examples, while the lack of said that the concepts have a central core and the peripheral elements of it. And in summary, the concept friendship in cognitive linguistics is a complex multi-layered mental unit that includes the definitional features, the metaphorical and imaginative extensions, cultural values, and emotional evaluations. The last one is associated networks connecting to the concept to the related concepts such as loyalty, trust, peer, and community. So the next section analyzes the structure of the linguistic concepts, looking according to Zachary, the concept consists of the three main layers. The first one is a national layer, which describes the basic meaning of the friendship, like trust, loyalty, mutual support. And the second one is a figurative layer, which contains images and metaphors. For example, friendship is often described as a treasure. And the last one is evaluative layer, which contains values and emotions. For example, friendship is seen as a positive moral value. And the next slide shows the nominative field of friendship, including and there is given some examples and some types. Direct nominations, synonym, and near synonyms include the friendship. Synonyms, companion, meet, body, all in the Karakopak languages will be the sheriff, drogas, yeah. And the phraseological units include the idioms, compounded expressions, and the collocations. And also include the metaphorical expressions, antonyms, and the contrasting concepts. So the concept friendship in the world language pictures. In the past, Aristotle considered friendship based on the mutual respect to be the highest type of the person. And in Islamic cultures, friendship is viewed as a moral responsibility and important part of our lives. In the Karakalpa culture, friendship is reflected in oral epics such as Karakas, where loyalty, solidarity, and mutual support are highly valued. So despite the cultural differences, friendship is generally associated with trust, care, loyalty, and the mutual help throughout the world. When it comes to the second chapter, which includes the lexical semantic field of friendship in English and the Karakalpak languages. Firstly, there is a given the meaning lexical blocks, and in the formal term, it includes the companion and colleagues, but in the informal terms, it will be the needs, body, bestie, and pal. But in the close friends, it is considered the confidence of bosom friends also. When it comes to the linguist, lexicosemantic philosophy of friendship in the Karakalpak language. The main word is dos, meaning in English friend, and its derivative dosa, meaning friendship. Other related words include sharik, meaning companion. Their meanings is a close friend, and sardas, which refers to the trusted friends with whom we are the one shared the personal secrets. And the concept of French in critical culture is associated with loyalty, trust, care. And for example, the word "sedas" refers to a particular, deep and trusting friendships. And the next part, uh, the study. The study also analyzes the physiological units in English. Physiological units stable, reproducible combination of a word whose meaning is not fully predictable, form the meaning of the their other component parts, form an important part of the linguistic representation of any concepts. And you can see concepts, and there is given some examples. Friendship is a genre metaphor. To be on the same road is meaning to share the same goals and outlook. To part ways for a friendship to end, the friends take different paths. And the phrase is a living organism metaphor. For example, a budding a friendship is meaning a friendship that is just beginning to grow, and a cultivated friendship is a meaning to carefully nurture and develop a friendship. And then when it comes to the Karakalpa proverbs and the proverbial units about a friendship, there is a given some examples and definition in the English languages, and the semantic groups of the Karakalpa proverbs about friendship. The first group is the super value of the friendship. Those people have value, and it is the greatest wealth. These proverbs assert the superiority of the friendship over material possessions, a recurring theme in the Karakalpa proverbial wisdom. And the next example, those about Adam Ralph. A person with a person is never alone. Friendship is protection against the existential condition of the loneliness. And then the next group is the true friendship. Those persons can do the billionaire. You recognize your friends in a difficult times. And the concept of the fear was a friend and its opposite are present in the proverbial wisdom too. Berdushman Bosadako, Mom Dosam Bosada as in good times, friends are many, in bad times, friends are few. A direct product to the English, fear was a friend. So, and the third group is the warnings against the false friendship. Jaman dos Rasa Dushpanan Atal. A bad friend is like a bad fire, a false or harmful friend brings destruction as the under worms. And those Ashita Dushman Kidra that if I tell my secrets, my enemy will laugh. These proverbs once again sharing confidences with unreliable friends. So that is end of my speech, and in conclusion, the linguistic study of the concept friendship in English and the Karakalpa languages confirms that the language is not merely a communicative tool, but it is a mirror of the cultures, salads, and the human values.
Thank you. Tak.
Please give me an example of proverbs in Karakalpa language which is associated with those. And in English language also, French.
Those
Proverb.
those people have either a friend is greatest wealth.
Interesting.
And those about Adam Travel says, a person with a friend is never alone.
So your presentation in Word, you have listed here the Karakalpak version and English version. So have you translated here directly or have you found equivalent notes?
I tried to take the equivalent of this.
Equivalent.
Yeah. And also that's one. That also you mentioned that we want to ask about dostu beraber adam çalgısı емес. Каракалпак көбі. Dostu бар адам жалғыз емес. Мен қазір нақыл-мақал топламы ашып отқанда, dostu бар адам жалғыз емес. Yeah, we know that it's a person with a friend is never alone. Yeah, it was clear for us. But dostu бар адам жалғыз емес.
Түсіндірме болып тұпты да бұл.
Is it a proverb or quotation?
It's not quotation. It's not quotation. Каракалпак proverbs about friendship. She mentioned about proverb. Dostu бар адам
It's
жалғыз.
also the
Is it proverb?
paraneological units.
Sorry?
Paraneological units.
Phenomenological.
But you mentioned the Karalpak proverbs about friendship. We have such kind of title. But not it's a paramenological.
So where do you take these examples? Sources, literature. Мысалларды қаяқтан алдың? Қайсы кітаптан?
Өзім ойлап таптым да.
Бірақ бір затқа сүйеніп алуымыз керек, ол құрдан бір мысал қоя алмаймыз ғой.
Мысалы, қашан алдың жауапты?
Нақыл-мақал, фразеология дегендер бар ғой сенде.
Барамызша қайсы кітап? Базмай.
English Karagalpak Proverbs деген кітаптар бар, содан алғансың негізі. Және қосымша қандай?
Қайсы кітаптардан пайдаландың?
Okay, did you find any similarities? Дос деген екі тілде.
Generally, it's similar.
Difference? Бар еді ғой, айттым ғой.
Айттым. So,
We are asking this one.
Yaxshi. Ресурстар обязательно керек зат та, соралады ғой.
керек зат.
Қайсыны да айтсаң сол.
Қайда мына топламда ашып отпын аризасын. Нақыл таппадым мен алайын.
Okay, the view was given for Katabaya Nargizas qualification paper by PhD docent Salamat from the State Pedagogical Institute named after Genius, and he shortly mentioned that the research shows that the student has carefully studied relevant linguistic literature and is able to apply theoretical knowledge to systematic comparative analysis. The conclusion summarizes the key results of the investigation. I consider the present qualification thesis has been completed in accordance with the requirements of the bachelor qualification work and it deserves a high mark. So our next graduate student, Lalasa Nikulban, and the theme of her dissertation paper, the scientific and the pedagogical dimensions of incorporating gamification strategies into adult foreign language instruction. And your scientific advisor is PhD docent Kuzamat Ibrahimovic. You may start.
Good afternoon, respected Chairman and member of the Commission. First of all, thank you for giving me opportunity to present my graduation thesis. My name is Shaka Sarkiran, and the title of my research is Scientific and Pedagogical Dimensions of Gamification in Adult Foreign Language Instruction. I chose this topic because nowadays learning a foreign language is very important, especially for adults. However, many adult learners lose their motivation during the learning process. In my research, I tried to study how gamification can solve these problems and make learning language more effective and enjoyable. Okay. Before talking about gamification, I would like to explain the main problem. Adult learners usually have many responsibilities. Most of them have jobs, families, or other daily duties. Because of this, they don't often have enough time or energy to study regularly. Another problem is motivation. Traditional lessons sometimes become repetitive and boring. Many adults also feel nervous when speaking a foreign language because they are afraid of making mistakes. As a result, many learners stop studying before reaching their goals. Well, when it comes to solution, one effective solution is this problem is gamification. Many people think gamification means
Gamification.
Gamification.
yeah,
Gamification.
gamification means playing games during lessons, but this is not correct. Uh, Gamification means using game elements like points, badges, uh, levels, reward, or challenge in education activities. These elements make learning more interesting and enjoyable. Learners feel motivated because they can clearly see their progress and receive immediate feedback. This helps stay active and continue learning for a long period of time. Well, relevance and context. The topic of my research is very relevant today. Nowadays, English is necessary for education, work, business, and international communication. People need good language skills to study abroad, build successful careers, and communicate with other people. In Uzbekistan, many educational reforms encourage teachers to use modern, modern teaching and method and digital technologies. Gamification is one of these modern approach because it combines education with motivation and technology. For this reason, I believe this topic is useful for both teachers and learners. During my research, I identified several important contradictions. On one hand, society needs people with strong foreign language skills. On the other hand, traditional teaching methods do not always keep all adult learner motivated. Another contradiction is many researchers agree that gamification is effective, but there is still a need to better understand how it works specifically in adult language learning. The next is evolution of educational gamification. Gamification has changed a lot over the year. In the past, teacher mainly used grades and certificates to motivate students. Later, computers introduced simple educational games and progress indicators. After that, online learning platforms started using badges, rankings, and reward system. Today, modern technologies such as artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and mobile applications have made gamification much more advanced and effective. When it comes to adult learning principles, adult learning differently from children. They usually study because they have a clear goal, such as getting a better job, studying abroad, or improving their communication skills. Adults also prefer practical knowledge that they can immediately use in their real life. Another important characteristic is that adults like making their own learning decisions and learning independently. Gamification supports these needs by giving learning freedom, flexible tasks, and opportunities to their own progress. Well, it makes learning more meaningful and enjoyable. In this slide, I would like to talk about one of the most important theories in my research, which is self-determination theory. According to this theory, people learn better when three basic needs are satisfied. These are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Autonomy means that learners want to make their own decision. Competence means they want to feel they are improving. Relatedness means they want to communicate with other people. Gamification supports all of these needs. For example, learners can choose activities, see their progress, growth points and level, and work together with their teams. Because of this, they become more motivated and enjoy learning. Well, gamification motivation driver. Motivation is one of the biggest reasons why gamification is effective. Many adults learners start learning with enthusiasm, but after they sometimes they lose interest. Gamification helps prevent this problem. When learners receive points, badges, or complete different level, they feel that their hard working is recognized. They become more confident and want to feel continued learning. Another advantage is that learning can clearly see their progress. Even small achievements encourage them to move forward. As a result, motivation becomes stronger and learning becomes more enjoyable. Gamification is gamification. Gamification is not only about points or rewards. It also includes quests and storytelling exercises. Learners complete different missions or solve real-life problems. For example, they may imagine they are traveling abroad, ordering food in a restaurant, or attending a job interview. For example, and also these activities make language learning more realistic and meaningful. Students practice English naturally because they are confused and focused on completing the task instead of worrying about their mistakes. My research also explains how gamification is connected. Gamification is connected with language learning theories. Stephen Krashen believed that learners improve when they receive language that is just a little more difficult than their current level. Gamification supports these ideas with different level of gradually increasing challenges. Middle Swain believe that learners should actively use their language. Gamified activities encourage students to speak, communicate, and solve tasks together. Vygotsky emphasized social interaction, teamwork, and collaboration challenges in gamification help learners improve their communication skill and while learning from each other.
Conclusion.
To conclude, gamification is not just about playing games in the class. It's actually a teaching strategy that helps connect real learning goals with motivation and engagement. For adult learners, especially who often have busy lives and less time, gamification makes learning more flexible and enjoyable. So we can say that is a modern approach that supports lifelong learning and in a very practical way.
Thank you. Pasta sanat.
Please.
Sanat pasta.
So how does the gamification affect to learners' motivation? How does the gamification affect learners' motivation? Қандай тәсір көрсетеді?
Because when they did ordinary grammar test, they were rewarded and marked. Also, this helps to increase their motivation.
Okay. Ms. Liban, thank you for such kind of interesting presentations. And I have two questions. What is gamification? But not gamification, gamification. And what can you say about the main principles of gamification in education and learning? What is gamification?
Gamification is the use of game elements such as points, badges, marks, and levels or non-games and context like education to make learning more engaging.
Okay, and what can you say about the main principles of gamification in education system? Okay, what about the benefits of? You mentioned that gamification, but not it's a game, it's a tool, and the others, yeah? But what can you say about the benefits of using gamification?
Its benefits.
Benefit, yes?
Yeah, it increases motivation, improves participation, reduces language anxiety, provides immediate feedback, and
Is it benefit? Is it benefits? Cheat skill muscle? In your presentation, you mentioned a lot of questionnaires. Questionnaires. What does it mean? This one. Autonomy, competence, relatedness. Psychological drivers. What is it in psychological drivers? Where did you try to analyze this? Psychological drivers. Жақтарда анализ істедіңіз бе? Бұл жақтан шықты ма? Autonomy'ға, competence, relatedness, such kind of percentage. You know what does it mean, autonomy? Nargis bir ol.
Questions, please.
Nargis falan.
In your second chapter of your research work, you have mentioned about mobile apps, and on the presentation you have also mentioned fourth page, which is dedicated to mobile apps, learning with the help of mobile apps. And in your chapter you have mentioned Duolingo, a couple of such apps. What kind of analysis have you carried out?
Analysis, yeah.
Duolingo, Kaggle.
Well, nowadays, I use Duolingo because I'm learning the Italian language.
Italian language.
Then
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
to my master degree.
Uh-huh.
Duolingo have a lot of language study students.
Mhm.
And also Kahoot, it's a game that tackle questions.
Okay, my second question, what is the difference between andragogy and pedagogy? You just mentioned it about difference between pedagogy and andragogy.
Mm. Differences between them.
Pedagogy and what?
Andragogy. Yes.
Have you heard such kind of terms, words? Have you heard about this? Презентация даже аудио такая.
Andragogy languages.
Мехриба онлайн.
Andragogy. Adult learners. Adult learner. Andragogy.
Мехрибаның жұмысыңызда сноска жоқ, оны келтірілмеген. Қай жақтан алынғанларын еш жерде келтірілмеген. Білмедім, оны қайдан алып жаздыңыз? 86-82% шыққан. Бірақ ешбір жерінде сноска жоқ. Қайдан алғаныңызды көрсетіп өтпеген жұмысыңызда. Андрогожинстан, барлықтар, gamification, тек алғаныңызда тек жазып қойғаныңыздар. Жұмысыңыз қайдан істеуіңіз керек. That's all.
So this was given by PhD Associate Professor Benedict Azaman for Mihriban, the last Mihriban's qualification paper. And he has mentioned that the graduation qualification paper satisfies all academic requirements for bachelor's graduation research and deserves a positive evaluation. So our next graduator, Daniel Barga, Indira Bakhtiarmana, and same of your dissertation paper, legal poetic study of metaphors in English and Karnataka poetry, and your scientific advisor is PhD Associate Professor Jumabeto Musudamontana.
Well, before the beginnings is about your presentation, you mentioned that she has a certificate one. And we will give only one or two questions related to that topic. Okay? So let's begin. So what can you say about the aim of your research work? Legal poetic study of metaphors in English and Karnataka poetry. Aim. Yes.
So our main aim is analyzing the similarities and differences between these two languages when it comes to the usage of metaphor, a stylistic device.
Okay. And what is a novelty?
Novelty.
Yeah.
So, Krakow language is not mostly, how to say?
How to say?
Sorry, I apologize. So, Krakow language is a kind of language that most scholars don't pay their attention mostly. That's why it is
Is it novelty?
it's a kind of novelty. Yeah, I'm going to say
It's a kind of novelty or real novelty?
real novelty. Comparative studies between English and poetic traditions when it comes to the usage of these metaphors is limited. That's why it is a real novelty.
Okay. Soru olabilir. Çok sorun.
The role of metaphor in poetry. Or English or Karakalpak. The rule, just.
The role of metaphors in poetry and liberal poetics is of huge importance because it makes the original words and language more expressive. For example, in some literary texts, we can face this kind of examples like time as a thief. He's alive in the battle, but not in poems, it's in literary texts. When it comes to poems, we can make examples like
Okay, thank you. Thank you, take a seat.
Okay, let me read the review by Philadelphia Sassaman, Associate Professor, PhD from Local State Pedagogical Institute. The results of the study can be used in teaching linguistics, statistics, comparative literature, and translation theory. Furthermore, the research materials may be beneficial for students, scholars, and translators working with English and Karakalpak literary texts. In conclusion, the topic linguistic study of metaphors in English and Karakalpak poetry is relevant, scientifically valuable, and practically important. The research has strong potential to enrich comparative literary and linguistic studies and to promote deeper intercultural understandings through poetry. So our next graduate, Klipay Valdori Kulatay, and the theme of your dissertation paper is a comparative analysis of banking terms in English and Karakalpak. And your scientific advisor is PhD Associate Professor Jumabetov Zubakmatbayeva.
And you should mention that she has certificate, yeah?
Yes, she has also C1 certificate.
Okay. It's beginning of the questions. Переступ. Пожалуйста. Robert Katerich.
What does it mean the word you are in bread?
You are in debt. That means it's an idiom in English related to our balance.
Banking terms.
When we run out of money or when we are about to issue money, and that means we are in debt.
What can you say about the lexical semantic analysis of banking terms?
Well, the second chapter of our research is mainly about lexical semantic comparative studies, and in that chapter we tried to compare banking terms in English by with their meaning and how they are formed or how they are translated. And first we have to pay attention to the equivalence, full equivalence and partial equivalence, in which some words can be translated like directly because they're international, like the word bank, translated as bank, or some words that cannot be translated directly, so they have the partial equivalence.
Questions?
So give any example for banking terms in two languages, comparing two languages, English and Karakalpak.
Yes. For example, we have classified those banking terms into 6 groups, like the terms related to accounts, like bank accounts, exactly, or transferring money, or garnishment, has the majority.
Comparing
Comparing
English and Karakalpak. Banking terms.
For example, the word that I have mentioned now, garnishment, this word is translated as, with the help of descriptive translation. The garnishment means, in English, the definition is to take away someone's property with force because they didn't pay enough or they didn't pay in time. And we cannot translate it directly to Karakopak, that's why we use descriptive translation. We translate it through a phrase. How does the in order to explain it more accurately.
So we have the terms, huh? Comparing
Yes.
terms to the.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's all. That's all. Thank you.
So what can we do? The bachelor qualification paper is relevant, practically oriented, and academically acceptable. It may be recommended for public defense and it deserves a positive assessment. So our next graduator is Turgenov Nurjan Sarabhayevich, and the theme of his dissertation paper is figurative language in English and Karakopak proverbs. And his scientific advisor is Sombeta Buzibakumbatlarna, PhD associate professor. He has also,
Certificate.
yes, he won IELTS certificate.
Certificate. Oh. Question, sir?
Yes, question please.
Nurjan, your topic is related to figurative languages, yeah? What kind of figurative languages did you try to analyze?
What kind of language?
Yeah.
Well, in our bachelor qualification paper, we will also provide we can analyze the figurative language in English and Karakopak programs, and the world they just extract from that and how they how they see the world and the overall in Nigeria through their proverbs and the small sayings, traditional expressions.
Can you give examples?
Well,
In English and Karakopak. English and Karakopak proverbs.
in English, in general, overall Nigeria looks like about time efficiency, work, personal satisfaction, and overall success. While in Karakopak language, it is mostly about the family and respect to our parents, friendship which is tested through the depressions and the hardships we go through. This is the most general.
Question please, Nandita.
In your research, you have mentioned involvement here, the meta-analysis of the Karakopak corpus. So, what have you taken in Karakopak corpus? Do you have any platform, or what type of platform have you used in your
To be honest, I used the only platform Google.com and in that I used the platform of e-library like both of our university e-library and the
Okay, detail the usage of the word corpus. Unfortunately, we haven't created this
Corpus. Yeah.
Karakopak corpus, so it's unsuitable
I'm sorry,
instead of corpus, okay?
maybe I just confused
Yes,
the English.
because sentences have preference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So review was given for Nurjan's qualification paper from PhD Associate Professor Babetgen Ataman. So in general, the bachelor qualification paper is relevant, informative, and academically sound. It satisfies the requirements established for undergraduate qualification research and may be recommended public defense with a positive evaluation. So our next graduator must apply transcript blocked by law and the same of his qualification paper, semantic fields of English adjectives and their semantic of classification. And his scientific advisor is Satulava Nafisa Shaldasplavna, PhD, Associate Professor. And he has also C1 level. C1 certificate.
Certificate, okay.
Yes.
Mhm. Go. Semantic fields of English adjectives and semantic classification.
Concept.
Yeah. Classification of items, linguistic classification.
So tell me about the semantic classification in lexicology.
Semantic classification, yeah.
Semantic classification it is grouping the adjectives by their meanings, by their lexical meanings. For example, there are different types of adjectives based on their semantic fields. For example, some of them for color, for age, like colors red, blue, like for age, young, tall, and this makes grouping adjectives into semantic fields.
Sorry, what is semantic fields. Adjectives.
But did you compare English and Cartographic languages in your paper? Yes or no?
Just English adjectives.
Only English adjectives, yes? Will please give example for the semantic field. Take any word that you investigated in your paper. For example, colors, yes?
Yeah, for example, for colors, red, blue, that means the color of an object, or the characteristics of that person. For example, angry, sad, happy. They are the semantic fields for adjectives.
And it's usually we have opposites here, three-dimensional adjectives in semantic fields. What are they?
Sorry.
In your research work, you have opposites three-dimensional adjectives in semantic field. What are they?
Sunday حتى ولا it was clear.
Clear, trustworthy, no one's word.
Ай, голову. Саплывом вас не терпит.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
İbrahim'e презентацияның too much childish қылмауы жолдастар. Internet based презентация ғой.
Okay, review was given by Silhan Varita, PhD, Associate Professor. The graduate's qualification paper is completed in accordance with the academic requirements. The objectives and aims of the research have been achieved and recommend the paper for defense. So our next graduator, Dr. Aslan Ola, and the theme of his dissertation paper is a cross-linguistic analysis of culture and art terms in English and Karakalpak. And his scientific advisor is Muhammed Kamuzullah Karatlarna, PhD. He has also
Hocadan kuş buldum. Arkadaşlarım kuş buldum. Yedi dayı var.
Tamam, direkt sorabilir miyim?
Sivan'dan.
Sivan. Sivan farklı baksana.
Cross-linguistic analysis of culture and
Cross-linguistic and cross-cultural.
cross-linguistic analysis of culture and art terms. Translation approaches of culture specific.
Well, you investigated in your paper the terms of culture and art in English and Karakalpak languages, yes? Well, culture and art terms, do they differ from each other?
Yes, firstly, the culture and art are very closely related to each other, but they have their own differences according to the English and Karakalpak. For example, Karakalpak culture differs from English culture, but
No, I'm asking about just in general, notion of culture and art and terms. Do they differ from each other?
Yes, they differ.
How?
Culture closely connected to the daily life of the human, but art.
Art or arts?
Art.
But you gave here everywhere art, not arts. They're different, yes, shortly.
Yeah, different.
They're different. Thank you.
Engage, sorry. What is your topic is related to cross-linguistic analysis. What is cross-linguistic analysis?
Cross-linguistic analysis means comparing two languages and the linguistic aspects like lexicology, semantics, and translation between the language or among languages.
So give an example for culture and art in two languages, English and Karakalpak.
For example, when it comes to the culture, in Karakalpak and English have their own cultures. For example, in English they have a tradition called Godfather, and in Karakalpak we have selecting the ceremony of selecting Mordokata and Mordokata. When we compare them or when we translate them, they look like each other, like they are relevant to each other. But the process is very different. For example, English people select godfather or godmother when their child born, and for Karakalpak people, they select Mordokata and Mordokata when they are married, when their children are married, and they select from their distant relatives, and as well as for English, they select from anyone they want.
Жақында үйленecek болды не дейді? Мұнда қатар тұғым мысалы. Окей. Бар ма сұрағыңыз? Thank you. That's all.
So the review was written by PhD Associate Professor in general, the bachelor qualification paper is relevant, informative, and practically useful. It satisfies the requirements set for undergraduate qualification research and may be recommended for defense with a positive evaluation. So our next graduator, he inspired subject for Ola, and The theme of his dissertation paper is translation and interpretation of English phraseological units into Karagapa. And his scientific advisor is Satulaiva Nargiza Jalasparna, PhD associate professor.
Satulaiva, yes, what
Good afternoon, dear members of committee. I'm James Farabasade, and I'm here to present my presentation, publication work about translation and interpretation of English physiological units into Karagapa. So the research work was carried out under the supervision of PhD associate professor Satulaiva Nargiza. And let me begin with the question. So, what happens when language meets culture? To find the answer for this question, we are going to search for the answer in the lives inside phraseological units, like idioms, proverbs, fixed expressions that carry the soul of language. So, and translating them is one of the most fascinating and difficult challenges that linguists can face. So the research aim and the relevance and background of the qualification. So the relevance of this research lies in the increasing importance of accurate phraseological translation between two distant languages like English and Karagapa language. And understanding phraseological equivalence helps translators, teachers, and learners who are learning phraseological units to understand its core meaning. So the aim of this research work is to conduct a systematic comparison of English and Karagapa phraseological units, and to identify and describe the patterns of correspondence. So the method that I use is comparative contrastive linguistic analysis, a well-established approach in translation studies that allows us to examine how two languages handle the same conceptual or communicative territory. So the tasks of the qualification of work is defining and classifying phraseological units based on existing theoretical literature, assessing translation equivalence frameworks, and describing the specific linguistic features of Karagapa that affect translation, and identifying the available translation strategies that translator can use, and comparing actual English Karagapa phraseological pairs, and classifying those pairs as full, partial, and zero equivalents. So, before we can translate phraseological unit, we must understand what they are. Based on the Conan's definition, phraseological units are combination of words with full and actually transparent meaning, characterized by stability of lexical composition and reproduced in speech as ready-made units. So, looking at Conan's definition, he divides into three priorities. Like the first one is semantic non-compositionality. So, in this priority, the meaning of phraseological unit can be decoded by simply adding up the meaning of individual words. Like, we cannot understand by translating the words one by one when we see a phraseological word. So the next one is structural fixity. The form is stable. If you substitute one word, the meaning is destroyed. So in the phraseological sentence, the form is stable. Substituting a word or adding a word destroys its meaning. So reproducibility. Individuals cannot produce or cannot reproduce the phraseological unit by themselves. They use by recalling them. So the next one is equivalence in translation. So, how do we evaluate or how do we know the translation is successful or not? So, based on the Kohler's five-dimensional equivalence framework, it is demanded that the translation preserve the same referential content about evaluative association, communicative effect, and register and tone and cultural resonance. So based on this framework, the English and Hartalpak phraseological units classified into three outcome types. The first one is full equivalence. Looking at the example, strike while the iron is hot. Temirde kızganda soğuk. Not temirde kızganda bas. In this full equivalence, the meanings and functions and images are the same. And when it comes to partial equivalence, to spill the beans, sarım aydu or jaru. For example, same core meaning but different image or register. So, and the last one is zero equivalence, a dark course, descriptive rendering. So, to translate the zero equivalence phraseological units of English, we must know the cultural and historical background of the language. So, in British tradition, we all know that horse racing is a traditional game, and the one horse at the back side of race may be first at the end. So the dark horse means the unexpected success. So the next one. Full equivalence. Here is given some examples from English and Hartalpak phraseological units. So the first one is actions speaker louder than words. We all know that the great Hartalpak writer, he had a story called Sen Sözün Yemez. By reading this story, we can identify that the core meaning of the story is Sen Sözün Bolsan. So the next one is a friend in need is a friend indeed. Jasodos Basta Sündebilnedir. And the next one is too many groups spoil the grass. Strike while the iron is hot. As I mentioned before, to lose one's head, losing the in English, to lose one's head, to lose the control. And the next one is every dog has its day. Giz kilse kime arbağım dedi. Or her istan hayır var. To add the fuel to the fire. In Hartalpak equivalent, it is istenasraga şaptoro. So the next one is partial equivalence. The first example is to be all at sea. As I mentioned before, partial equivalents are a little bit same to the equivalent in other language. To be all at sea. Akıldan sasıl, or to get cold feet. That is the baslava beklemiyor. Yürüklemiyor. To hit the nail on the head. Has kabağına karamay, naito. It is telling a secret whether it is hard to say. So to turn a blind eye. In Hartalpak language, it is a common word sentence for like after görmek. It is turning a blind eye. So once in a blue moon, in Hartalpak equivalent, it is ara kurak, arasında. A blessing in disguise. Basna bak follow. In Hartalpak equivalence, we may see such kind of examples in a stance like basna bak follow. This is luck or success. Post, arm, and a leg. Adam kullanır.
Thank you. Conclusion.
Let me explain the zero equivalence.
Okay. Just 15 minutes, okay?
So, when it comes to zero equivalent, it is the phraseological word that cannot be translated by translating only the word. To translate this kind of phraseological words, we must know its cultural and historical background of the phraseological words. As I mentioned before, the dark horse, it is popular in British culture and not cricket. It is analysis or unfair or Herculean task. It is so hard task that people or human can do. It is we may translate it as a Judafian wazifa. So a white elephant in South Asian tradition, the bones of white elephant gifted as a punishment for the punishment. So it is art of kambatsat or unnecessarily expensive thing in Karakalpak equivalent. So the next one is good. So interpretation techniques for zero equivalence. When we translating the text or interpreting the speaker's words, we must know the equivalence of the phraseological words in Karakalpak. So to conclude, the qualification work enriches the comparative analysis of phraseological systems and across typological distant languages, contributes to Karakalpak translation studies. And also, the practical knowledge of this qualification work is directly accessible to English and Karakalpak phraseological units when it is translated or interpreted.
Thank you.
Please.
If there is no equivalence, zero equivalence, how can we keep the definition of translation?
As I mentioned before, if the translator faces such kind of zero equivalent phraseological words, they must try to compare the traditions or the culture or the history of two languages. For example, as I mentioned before, dark horse is a success at the end, but in our Karakalpak culture, Jasad Hinshabad, this kind of is the finding equivalence or zero equivalent phraseological words.
How many proverbs did you take into investigation? How many proverbs in English and Karakalpak?
Proverbs.
How many? For example, maybe 10 proverbs or 50 proverbs you just take to investigation.
More than 25. Because
with equivalence in second languages?
Yes, I analyze it, I compare these phraseological words in two languages, English and Karakalpak.
Phraseological words?
Phraseological units.
Units.
Yes.
But you said that in some places in your presentation there are proverbs also.
Proverbs, yeah. Phraseological units contain some idioms, expressions, and proverbs.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I have one question.
Thank you for your attention.
Sorry. Well, tell us about the translation strategies and the methods.
Translation strategies.
Yeah. Translation strategies and the methods.
So, translation, when it comes to translation strategy, when a translator interpreting the sentences from one language to another one, they must know, they must keep the balance of the phraseological units when it's about phraseology.
The next question. Okay. Thank you, thank you.
So review was given by Pedro Motivosa from Associate Pedagogical Institute, PhD, Associate Professor. So while working on the qualification paper, he inspired Asad showed a great inclination to researching. His critical thinking helped him to collect and select materials which enrich the quality of the thesis. The graduate qualification work is finished, all the tasks and the aim are achieved, and I recommend it to the friends. So our now last graduate student, Baymar Fasil Ahmed Kuzan, and the theme of your dissertation paper is the verb system in English and contrastive analysis. And your scientific advisor is Satwell Nadizullah PhD Associate Professor.
Today, I'm going to present my graduation thesis on paper, the verb system in English and kernel part, and contrastive analysis. So language is one of the most important means of communication, and grammar plays a crucial role in expressing meaning accurately. Among all grammatical categories, the verb occupies a central position because it expresses actions, processes, states, and events. So the English and the kernel part languages belong to different language families and have different grammatical structures. And the research objectives of this study are to examine the grammatical characteristics of verbs in English and kernel part, and to analyze tense, aspect, mood, voice, and the person categories in both languages. Next one is to identify similarities and the difference between the two verb systems. And fourth one is to determine the practical significance of contrastive analysis for language teaching and translation. And next is theoretical background. A verb is a part of speech that expresses an action, state, or occurrence. For example, in English, she writes a letter in Karagapa called Hatrazada. In both sentences, the verb expresses an action performed by the subject. However, the grammatical organization of verbs differs significantly between the two languages. English relies heavily on auxiliary verbs and word order, while Karagapa primarily uses suffixes attached to the verb stem. And similarities between English and the Karakalpak verbs. Despite the structural differences, the two languages share several common features, such as both have verbs as central elements of the sentence, and both express tense and the mood. So both distinguish active and passive voice. These similarities demonstrate certain universal characteristics of human language. So differences between English and the Karakalpak verbs. The main differences include English uses auxiliary verbs extensively, while Karakalpak relies mainly on suffixes. And English has a more developed aspect system, and Karakalpak has a richer system of verbal suffixes, and voice categories are morphologically more diverse in Karakalpak. These differences often create challenges for students learning English as a foreign language. And structural and morphological features of English verbs. The verb is considered the most complicated part of speech in grammar. It plays a central role in expressing predication, which connects the situation described
in adherence with reality because of this. The verb carries main information load in a sentence. In addition, verbs have numerous grammatical categories and they can be divided into different subclasses according to various classification principles. So semantically, the verb denotes a process or action developing through time. These processes meanings is the main characteristics feature of the verb as a part of speech. Syntactically, the role of the verb in the sentence depends on whether it's finite or non-finite. Finite verbs agree with the subject in person and number and always functions as a product of the sentence. And to conclude, this research demonstrates that also English and Karakalpak belong to the different language families, whose languages possess well-developed verb systems, and the analysis reveals that English verbs rely heavily on auxiliary constructions and aspectal distinctions, while Karakalpak verbs mainly use suffixations to express grammatical meanings.
Thank you. Questions?
I know in English grammar we go to voices, agreement, consider, but in your research work you have mentioned in 30 languages, 5 of them. What are they?
Voice.
Active and passive voice in English, but in your research work you have mentioned in 30 languages, 5 of them. What are they?
Voices, yes.
Yeah. Active, passive, against 3 of them. And I'll go next to the question. And next question, can you analyze me 2 forms of these words, European and work side? What kind of difference? European and work side.
Film is a feature
Function.
Function is a thinking or
What is the actuality of your work? Actuality. Актуальность возможности. Актуальность возможности. Thank you.
So review was given by Silhan Valentin, PhD associate professor. In general, the qualification paper meets the requirements established for graduate qualification works. The research is complete, well structured.
structured and demonstrates the also the ability to conduct independent linguistic analysis. That's all.
That's all for today. So we graduate